Oh no,
People
it's my
say I'm toxic, and honestly, I don't care.
October Red is sponsored by SA Security. Maximum security, minimum fuss.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Wherever you are, if it's the evening, if it's the night, if it's the morning, the afternoon, welcome back to all of you. Happy New Year. It's great to be back. I feel like I haven't done a live with just us for such a long time. So I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Even if I haven't got that much heart in the fights this evening, which I will have in the main event that we're doing the watch along for, I thought, you know what? Let's just catch up with the guys, see what's been happening, see how your Christmas went, your New Year, all of that good stuff. And we're on to 2026. Who can believe it? We've been sat here doing live since when? I don't know, 2021, 2022, and it's now 2026, and we are still here together. So, if I haven't said it enough, Happy New Year to all of you. I hope you're looking after yourselves and your loved ones. Great to see the chat starting to, a couple of people in the chat. Chris Welsh, good afternoon, good evening to you. Good night, isn't it? It is, it's nighttime. Thank you very much as well to Chris for giving us a shout out on your channel as well, as one of your go-tos. I really do appreciate that. I probably need to do that more on mine as well. So you give me ideas. So thank you very much for that. And because Chris is here, go and subscribe to the only Chris Welsh on YouTube. Got to plug it back. Got to pay it forward. Got to pay my respects as well. Legal Eagles, good evening to you. My favorite spider tattoo, Legal Eagles. Good to see you. And Happy New Year to you guys as well. 2026, I think time is just literally flying by. It's definitely not slowing down. The years are just literally all amalgamating into each other. And already we got the Queensbury first card of the year out there in Germany, and obviously followed by Matchroom's card later on tonight during the early hours, which you know I will not be staying up for, because we saw the state of me when I stayed up for Joshua versus Jake, or Jake Joshua, however you want to put it. And as frustrated as I was, because I thought, yeah, AJ's going to get him out there in 2, and I think it went to 6, if my memory serves me right. And I was just like, please just finish. I can't do the nighttime stuff. Not unless I'm over there in the country where the fights is. You will not see me do another late night live. I just can't do it. So, of course, we definitely have got to support each other. It's been an interesting year so far. I don't need to go over everything that everybody else has been going over. I'm going to stick strictly to boxing, and I have been having a look out on X just to see, what's happening. Obviously, listening to these guys as well, talking about the heavyweight division, and something seemed to have stirred a little bit of conversation on X, and it was about Moses Itauma. Obviously, he goes up against Jermaine Franklin, and I do think this is a good marginal test for him, a good fight for Moses. That's in the next couple of weeks. I will be there, so I'll be getting you guys content. I'll be there fight night as well. So hopefully, to be fair with Queensbury, I get to go backstage so we can get some, backstage post-fight conversations. I really like that card. It is a Magnificent 7 card. Good names on there. One of the most risky fights that's on there, in my opinion, is Willie Hutchinson versus Ezra Taylor. Ezra Taylor's been around for a minute, and I do think it's a good fight, but it's a risky fight with Willie Hutchinson, because one thing with Willie Hutchinson is he knows his way around that ring. So that is probably, I think that's the fight I'm looking forward to the most. There's a lot on the line for that fight for both guys, but we're going to skip back to Moses Itauma. There was some rumblings. Obviously, you got the DAZN guys on commentary, and I think it's Frampton and Oladipo talking about how they're getting excited about Moses, and sometimes he struggles to get opponents, and I think there was some kind of backlash saying, really, he's struggling to get opponents. A little bit of a stir on X, not necessarily believing that. I mean, you guys let me know in the comments what you think. I do know that there's been a couple of guys that have been offered fights with him, and they've like, oh, I'm not ready, oh, the money has to be right, etc., etc. So I've seen that, and I'm sure you guys, if you watch as many boxing content as I do, you would have known earlier on, maybe about a year or so ago, that was the conversation. The only one that says that they'd fight him at the moment is Lawrence Okoli, who is over here looking at the winner of Kabayel versus Knyba, the I think Polish fighter that he's going up against. We've got Germany versus Poland. Almost sounds like a 1996 football match, if my memory serves me right. But yeah, interesting. But Moses has got Jermaine Franklin, which I think is a great margin fight for him. Jermaine Franklin has been in with Anthony Joshua. He's been in with Dillian Whyte, and he's gone the full rounds with both of them. Never really looked too much in trouble. I spoke to Anthony Joshua after he won the fight with him. That was when he was with Derek James. And I said there was a point in there where it looked as if you could go for the finish, but you didn't. And Anthony Joshua started talking about basically being more savvy in the ring and being more conscious that potentially something could come back if he's reckless. So yeah, opportunities were there. Dillian Whyte, there was some controversy over whether people thought Dillian Whyte actually won. So there was controversy there. But like I said, distance with both of them. So this is a really good fight for Moses. Yes, I understand the critics are going to say, oh, but, Franklin hasn't fought for ages. Once again, it's an older fighter, etc., etc. But just look at the opponent. Look at the opponent. Look at who he's been in the ring with. And I do think it's a credible fight for him. Let's see what happens. It's heavyweight boxing. Jermaine Franklin is as tough as they come. And like I said, he stayed in there with big punchers. Joshua and Dillian, they're punchers. They can punch. Joshua more culmination of shots. Dillian Whyte's got that one punch power. And none of them got him out of there. So to me, that's a great matchup. We'll see what happens. That is on Saturday, January the 24th. And I will be at that fight getting you guys content. And on the media day, the press conference day, the Thursday before. So that's a couple of weeks away. I'll be there getting you content for that. But once again, if you've just joined us, this is the watch along. The heavyweight watch along. There is no footage. It's just me, myself, and I, and our wonderful subscribers. We like to call this conversation and commentary, and it is for Ajit Kabayel versus Damon Knyba, who I think is fighting. I think he's a top-ranked fighter. Obviously, Kabayel is Queensbury, managed by Spencer Brown. He goes into this fight with, I think it's 26-0. He's got 18 of those knockouts as well. He's had a really good run. Last, obviously, 2025, he fought Makhmudov, Sanchez, and obviously the Zhang fight. I think that was February 25. So he's been out for just under a year. And I think it's more or less the same. No, Knyba's been in October. I've got some notes here, so I've prepped specially for this session. Knyba fought last in October, and he also fought in June and February 2025. Fights in the US, Newark or New York. He's out of that side, and he's 17-0 with 11 KOs. On paper, a very good fight. We don't know how it's going to end up. I should say that Ajit should do it. Being out the ring for just under a year, will he have a bit of ring rust? I know that he's been out there sparring. I think young Matty Harris went out there to spar him as well. In prep for this fight, he's out there doing his work in silence in the background and polishing his own skills and getting ready to, I think he's fighting in February. So we'll see how Ajit gets on. But obviously we've got a fight before that, and they're just about to make their ring walks. And it is Granit Xhaka, German, and the Croatian Peter Milas. These guys, 19 fights, 20 fights. So their numbers are looking really good as well on paper as Milas makes his ring walk. So, yep, good evening to, let's have a look, go back into the chat. Monkey Dragon 9545, good evening to you as well. The only Chris Welsh, I hope everything is okay with Anthony Joshua. We are all thinking of him, and I can only second that. I'm not one of these that's going to go on about it. I've chosen to just keep my mouth shut, basically, give him the privacy that he needs. There's a lot of channels that are talking about it. I'm sure they're making money or gaining popularity from talking about it. That's not my style. I'd rather sit down and speak to him when I see him, and or just leave it alone. So yeah, absolutely. Condolences to the family of Sinner and Lats. Condolences, sincere condolences to them. And I hope, Anthony Joshua gets all of the support and help along with the family of the deceased that they need. Very, very sensitive time for all of those. H. Hakan, good evening to you as well. Yeah, I went early, Star Fox, only because obviously I said I was going to do the last 3 fights, but it started a little bit earlier. The card started at 5:45 instead of 7. So we're running early, and the floater's just come off as well. So yeah, we're early. Let's have a look. October Red, so we know what time the Dalton fight is. I don't know the exact time, Foxy, but it's going to be the early hours of the morning. It's New York time, isn't it? And what are we in the UK? We're 5 hours ahead, so it's going to be silly o'clock, and I'm just not doing it. Happy New Year to you as well, Star Fox. Good to see you in here. Only Chris Welsh is saying Kabayel deserves the Usyk fight for me, but Usyk is entitled to fight who he wants. And I think he's going to, isn't he? Obviously, he's dropped 1 belt. Is he going to drop more? What is he up to? There's boxing, heavyweight boxing is kind of up in the air. Obviously, with what happens with Anthony Joshua, he's kind of taken a back seat. Tyson Fury is now out in the front seat again, putting up pictures of him in the gym. Potentially, is it a comeback, whatever? We don't know. Everything is up in the air at the moment. But what I do like is that the guys, Ajit Kabayel, is having a fight. Lawrence Okoli is out there to make his presence. So the guys are still keeping busy fighting for their number 1 spot, number 2 spot under the main title. So they can get their opportunities as well, because you just don't know what's going to happen in boxing. The thumbnail for the vertical mobile stream looks kind of mad still. Yeah, it probably would do. I'm probably not centered. You're going to have to go onto YouTube then. But I thought I'd try it. Something that StreamYard's doing where they do 2 streams at once. So I'm glad to see Fury back. I think Fury has got plenty of years in him. Yet he's only lost to Usyk, and there's no shame in that. Absolutely. There is no shame in losing to the most elite fighter, which it looks at as this gen of boxing, multiple undisputed weight champion. So yeah, the accolades speak for themselves, and I think because I think Usyk will get a lot more respect when times have gone by. Either he's not here anymore because of old age or whatever, or maybe in 20 years' time when they start to look at old footage of him and really give him the flowers that he deserves. It's just a shame he really doesn't get that credit as the skillful fighter that he is. Foxy, good for you, Foxy, because I ain't doing it. Foxy says they're going to stay awake. Hopefully Dalton can get the job done versus the... he's called Subaru Matthias a cheat. Interesting. I'll tell you what, though, I did read something, and this is down to Rob Tebbett as well. So Rob Tebbett, I think he set up another boxing channel. I can't remember the name of it, but I've got a lot of time for Rob Tebbett because he's a great, very, very great, very, very good interviewer. There's a lot of... Well, this fight looks like it might end early. He's done a lot of content with some great fighters that I've got so much information off, so I could then go on to speak with those fighters, and a lot of the references were originally from Rob Tebbett, and that's when he was with Boxing Social. So this is a very, very long time ago. But what I heard is that there was some objection talking about Subriel Matthias on the gloves by Team Smith. So I think maybe he's had to change his gloves. I don't know what the brand of the gloves were, but there was some issues with the gloves. Team Smith put up a little bit of a complaint about it, and I think they're probably going to run with that. So interesting. Eddie Hearn, Rob Tebbett spoke to him, and we're looking at potentially Bam re-signing with Eddie. I think he's put in another great offer to keep the fight. Obviously, Bam Rodriguez, fantastic fighter, skilled fighter, and still very young. There's still chance to potentially go up in weight, and become a multiple weight world champion. Great fighter. So we'll see what happens with Bam, because I think there were some questions asked about that. But going back to Matthias, I think with the press conference, I don't know if you guys have caught up with the press conference with him and Smith. He sort of made some allegations that he was sabotaged, that somebody tried to sabotage him in that fight. So I don't know if he's alluding to the fact that something happened with his PED test. Who knows? When it comes to the drugs, it's a total mess. You either fail or you pass. There seems to be a gray area, which sort of, I don't know, pisses in the face of the actual rules of drug testing in the first place. It's a very complex subject. They don't seem to all agree with each other. Some drugs are allowed, some are banned, like different lists, and it's just a shambles. I think it needs to be overhauled. There should be one list globally, since the fighters will fight each other, not just fighting fighters from their country. There should be one list. It's global. They all talk to each other. And if it's banned on one, it should be banned on another. And if there is an allowance, what percentage is the allowance for that drug that may have been ingested accidentally or part of a supplement that's not yet on the ban list? It's just an absolute mess. It's a mess. So sometimes when it comes to the drug stuff, I just sit out of it. When I spoke to Subriel, because his interview's on my channel, I didn't know anything about the drugs, and I think it was about a couple of days after that it came out. So it looks as if they used me as a little bit of a PR just to test the waters of the UK, which I didn't really like. But whatever, we are here. So let's have a look. Somebody's written something. I think it's in Arabic, and Abdullah, apologies, I can't read Arabic. Fury and Akoli are contenders for Dad Bod of 2026. Who you got? I've actually spoken to Akoli and said, listen, you know, your brother's really good on the fitness or whatever. Just get the S&C, get back in the gym. You know, just work on your. I'm not saying that you have to look like an Adonis. Speaking of Lawrence Akoli, there he is with his manager. I'm not saying that you have to look like a fitness Adonis, but I'm saying just put some effort into your fitness as an athlete. You know, not everybody can look like Tyson Fury and still move around the ring like Tyson. That's Tyson Fury. Is an anomaly, isn't he? He's never gonna, you know, come in looking like he's carved out of stone, but his skill speaks for him. But you know, I think as an athlete, you really should take care of yourself, and dad bods aren't the one for boxing. Foxy said it's all mind games from Eddie against Matthias, proper wind-up merchant. Yeah, they're going to do it, aren't they? Pre-fight. You never know when somebody's going to get into the head of the fighters. These two are having a right scrap. I should be commentating on these, but I am here for the main fight. I've started early, guys, so if you've just joined me, it is commentary and conversation. I'm doing more conversation than commentary. I'm here for the finale. But what I wanted to do tonight was to catch up with you guys as subscribers, just to see what you think, you guys are thinking about what's happening in the boxing world at the moment. So I am going to be a little bit selfish. We are in round number 2 of 10. I'll probably jump onto comms with this in a bit. But at the moment, I'm going to stay in the chat. So if you want to hop out and hop back in, by all means, that's up to you. So let's have a look. Only Chris Ralph says Matthias going Eubank Junior style at press conference against Hearn. Yeah, that was there. It's quite interesting. And the smirk on his face while he was saying things and then putting the mic down. I spoke to him, really great guy, but like I said, when it comes to the drug stuff, it's just it's a mess, and it's just a grey area. It's not strict liability, because if it was, there would be no grey area. But unfortunately, there's a lot. So I'm just like, you know what, you lot sort it out, and I'll just stick to asking the questions. So Chris goes on to say, my only opinion is if you fail your test, you're a cheat. And that's just my opinion. I will not call him a murderer after what happened with Maxim. Yeah, Dashadev. Yeah, I spoke to him about that. Dadashev, sorry. That's over the top allegation. It is, but it's always going to bring things into question, isn't it? It's like I said, it's just an absolute mess. Dana should have started a cracked out division. Imagine these guys. This is a good scrap. Ref separating the two. German. You know what? I'm really happy that Queensbury have put this show on in Germany, because at one point Germany was a little bit of a hotbed for boxing. So it seems like they're bringing something back over there. Ajit Kabayel's clearly selling tickets. These guys, one of these, where are these guys from? German and Croatia. So, you know, they've got the crowd behind them. You can hear it. I'm just keeping one eye on the boxing as I'm talking to you. Speaking of Dana White, his first card is, I think it's Friday the 23rd. It's the day before, obviously, the Queensbury show in Manchester with Atalma and Franklin. So I'm not sure about the whole card. I'm not sure who's on that. I know that he's still going on about getting rid of the belts and all of that stuff. He's done a really in-depth interview. I think it's with Stephen A. So I'm going to probably have a look at that and potentially do a news and reviews on that interview. Just break it down, see what he's saying, and what Zuffer's going to come out with. Look, it's going to be their first show, and I always give anybody the benefit of the doubt when it's your first show. I'm not expecting him to come out, you know, bolting out the gate with a fantastic first show. We'll see what happens. Benefit of the doubt. No doubt there will be fighters that will be speaking to him. No doubt they'll be going around doing their little magical tricks, seeing who's still in contract or who they can wangle out of a contract to get to sign to fight with them. But I think what may be under threat is the American fighters. I can't see them potentially coming over here and trying to poach the fighters from here, but maybe fighters, PBC, top ranked fighters, may be at risk. Maybe they can offer them something. Who knows? First fight is Friday, the 23rd of January. Let's see what happens with that. Happy New Year to you, beautiful Golden Dragon. Happy New Year to you. Not happy with Oscar's recent words. Seems like they're very clearly ducking the Boots fight. Yes, he did say, didn't he? I think he's talking about a 60-40 split, obviously. And I think he said 5% for the winner as well. So that could potentially be 65-35, depending on who wins, obviously. The winner gets that extra 5% docked or added on, sorry, I should say. I think what he came out and said, and this is Oscar De La Hoya, he was like, look, however you want to look at it, he said, why are you just looking at fighting Ortiz? Why aren't you looking at other people in the division? Why are you coming for him? So if you want to fight him, I tell you what, we'll do it on my terms, and you've got to pay more money. However you want to look at that is however you want to look at it. But when it comes to business, when somebody is in demand, if Ortiz is in that much demand, he can afford to try and put the price up, whether it works or not. Because as you know, it's business. It could backfire. Eddie could go, well, forget you then, and hop along to the next one and beat everybody else and freeze out Ortiz. And then Ortiz may struggle to get fights. Who knows? Who knows what the pool is like? That is just a potential to happen. So risky. But if Ortiz is the A side, he's the golden goose. He's the one that obviously Eddie and Boots want. Then he's going to call shots. It's business, isn't it? We might not like it, but that's just the way it works. We don't know about potential splits that certain fighters have demanded, or the promotional companies have demanded, because it's not all the time that we get to see those figures in public. Often the figures are hidden, especially when it comes to the British fighters. I think there's a little bit of a decorum. There's house rules, and something that the British don't like to discuss is money publicly. I don't know if that's just the way we are. We're like that with wages. We're like that with politics. Who do you vote for? And it's almost like you're asking to look in their underwear drawer. We've got this decorum about us. We don't like to discuss money. But sometimes over the other side of the pond, our cousins in America, they're quite open with that kind of split. Or say, for example, when His Excellency gets involved, he will potentially talk or give you a big hint to what kind of figures that they're playing with. So yeah, interesting one. I want to know, to be fair to you guys, and this is boxing, but it touches on a personal stuff. Deontay Wilder's done a interview. I don't know what's happening with him still, to be fair, and when or who he's fighting again. I know Alexander Usyk has said that he wants to fight him, and people are like, well, why do you want to fight him? And it's almost like he's adding him to his list of fighters, list of names that were in this era of heavyweights. So I get why he's doing that. But what I'm asking you is what you think of, obviously he said about, obviously he split up from his long-term girlfriend who he had a child with, etc. He did an interview about that and saying how he took on one of her kids as their own. And the headline was like that kid saying, well, you ain't my daddy, blah, blah, blah. We'll see. But it's weird because they split up quite a while ago and there was a crazy narrative going around about him against him. And now it seems to have switched and they've pushed it back onto his ex-partner. Interesting, but I just wanted to know what you think. Let's have a look back in the chat. So we've covered Oscar. 68DG, good evening, good night, good whatever it is to you as well. Thank you very much. One of the channel's great supporters that likes to buy me coffee and cake. So I really appreciate that, because when I'm hopping on the train or I'm leaving Birmingham, going to London, going to Manchester, going to Liverpool, those coffees do come in handy because I like my Cafe Nero. That's my favorite coffee shop. I think they do the best coffee. Shame, really. Not even sponsored by them, but I'm giving them the plug. So 68DG says, I think Dana's first show will be good from a production standpoint. Yeah. But TKO aren't going to shake up anything. Not at the moment. I think if he's serious, if he's really serious, this is not a short-term fix. This is going to be something that is going to, it could take 10 years. You've got to be in it for a minute. We know the kind of potential financial backing that he's got in there, but it's what are the quality of the fighters that you're going to get? Are you going to build them? Are we going to watch them grow on your platform? Is it going to be like a grassroots and we learn to love the fighters? You know, kind of like what he's done with the UFC. Is he going to, can that model be put into boxing? With the way boxing is like a free-for-all, there's always a show on, there's lots of different promoters. DAZN's kind of locked the boxing broadcast down. Obviously now we've got a bit of BBC and, you know, there's I think TalkSport probably air boxing as well. So boxing's, there's a lot to choose from. So now he's got to come in. I'm not sure who the broadcaster's going to be, but we'll see. So I think when it comes to Dana and TKO Zuffa, it's you've got to have a long-term vision. It's not something that's going to be done overnight, and that's just business, isn't it? Boxing's been around forever. And the people that are involved in boxing have also been in boxing more or less forever, unless you're talking about the newer promoters such as like Ben Shalom, who started 5 years ago and he's still going. He's had some bumps in the road, but he's still going. He's still trying to push through. He obviously landed the deal with Sky, but then after that he's gone on to the BBC. So you really can't knock his hustle because he's trying not to go anywhere. He's like, nope, I'm staying here. He's had a couple of unlucky results with, obviously, I know Jamie Takivi is a boxer fighter, but let's face it, they wanted Fraser Clark to win because Fraser Clark, the Olympian, except, you know, the name that goes with it is fantastic for them. And then obviously, unfortunately, Callum Simpson lost to the very robust and rugged, and like I said, it was like a resurgence in Troy Williamson the other week. And Troy Williamson, unbeknownst to me, is a Matchroom fighter. I didn't even know he was Matchroom. I thought he was agent free. He's signed to Nova Sport, which is Chris Eubank Jr.'s like management company, with Elliot Amoka, etc. So he's under them, but he's now with Matchroom. So when you talk about Dana, you know, is it what type of fighters is he going to sign? What's his plan? What's his strategy? What are his intentions to do with Zoffa and TKO? Obviously, we know that they tried to put an amendment into the Muhammad Ali Act, which was great for like fighter insurances and stuff like that. But then your manager can be your promoter, so you're kind of like locked in. There were pros and cons of it, and it was bipartisan as well over in the US. So, you know, there wasn't really any disagreement between the both parties, because obviously it has to go to what we would call the House of Lords. It's got to go through as a bill before it comes at actual law. So there's all sorts of stuff going on in boxing. So also, I want to see the cards, because if they do the promotion, say the lead up, you know how they look at like the behind the scenes with the fighters, the UFC style. If they bring that model in, where we get to know the fighters, the style, who they are, etc., you'll buy into the fighters. And I think we need to take advantage more of that in the UK. You know, I'm Miss UK when it comes to fighting. I really want to, you know, get to know those fighters. And if you watched any of the conversations that I've had with fighters, that is my approach. I want the audience to get to know the fighter. So you're not just backing them because of their boxing style, ability, or whatever. You're backing them because you actually like their personality. You can relate to them in some way. And once you get that personal appeal across to the public, I think you're onto a winner. Not everyone's going to like everyone. I get it. However, if you get your cult following, you're in a good position, because obviously that benefits ticket sales, benefits you having fights in your home city. There's all sorts of advantages. And if you're a really good fighter, it's even better. So we will see what happens with that. Foxy goes on to say Oscar is just trying to make the deal complicated so it doesn't happen. The reason why Matchroom DAZN are desperate for the Ortiz boots is because it's one of the best fights to make this year. And yeah, 100%. But in that awkwardness or being complicated about it, if he feels that he can call the bluff and try and get as much money out of it as he can for himself and his fighter, why not? Would you do the same thing if you knew you was like, that was the fight to make? Like you said, the number one greatest fight that can happen this year? Yeah, I think you would. I think anybody would. Hey, Mr. A, good to see you. I have not seen you for ages. It's great to see you. Happy New Year to you as well. Oh my gosh, it's been absolute ages. A is one of my long-time subscribers that really does know how to make me giggle on here. He's done everything on here to me. Laughing at when I told you guys that my kids call me the Black Megamind because like the size of my head and stuff, and he was screaming about that. I had some little Christmas elves. Funnily enough, they've gone missing, but I had Christmas elves with me, and then he said they looked like Sonny Edwards. Then he tried to say there was a ghost walking behind me. So yeah, everybody, Mr. A. Django, how you doing? Good to see you. Brooklyn, New York. Oh, great. So your fight, you're going to be watching the Dalton Smith fight, Subriel Matias, on your time. So that's nice for you. Your city, your hometown. Are you going to the fight, or are you going to watch it from home? I won't be doing a watch along, by the way, because you're not seeing me like a zombie again on here. Right, here we go. I went to a Wilder event in Brum. Is that Birmingham, Alabama, or Birmingham, UK? A couple of years ago, my brother was embarrassing wearing a bronze suit. That's support? That's support. Oh, here we go. Hi, James. Good to see you. Paramount is the broadcaster, I think. Okay, fair enough. Beautiful Golden Dragon said, would you ever do an interview with Bernard Hopkins? Really enjoyed the Buddy McGirt interview. Absolutely. If I can get the American veterans on the channel, 100%. It's just getting through to them, because obviously they don't follow me. They don't know who I am. So it's going to go into their requests folder. I've tried to get several times, to be fair, Roy Jones Jr. back on the channel, because we did keep in contact for a bit, but I don't know if my number changed or his number changed. But I really want to get Roy Jones Jr. back on the channel because I think he was probably the first, if you want to call it, boxing interview that I did on my channel, which got me a lot of subscribers, like all at once. So yeah, 100%, I'd love to do those. I want Mike Tyson, but we'll see what happens with him. Right, 68DG, the UFC brought up Strikeforce, Pride and other MMA promotions and their stars. Dana can't do that in boxing, and the TKO 80-20 money split won't work. Has that been confirmed that they are going to do an 80-20 split? Because I have got notifications on my phone, but only about the Muhammad Ali Act. But I'm not sure if it covers all the financial constraints that are on there. Or is that 80-20 what we know that he does in the UFC, and you believe that he's going to bring that over to boxing? Is that fact? Because it might be, but I've just missed it. Johnny Cash 2673. We are in round number 6 of 10, I think, for this one. So I'm gonna say about, I don't know, about 15-20 minutes maybe for the main event, Johnny Cash. So it's not on at the moment. We've got Shayla and Milas in the ring. It seems to be a bit of a nice to-in and fro-in with them. I have to have one eye on them, but obviously I'm in the chat for the main thing, for this. I beg your pardon. Right, James Douglas is saying it's a difficult fight for Dalton tonight. I do agree. Will be a great win if he does it. Shame, looks like the fight is not selling at all. I don't think you know what, James, thanks for bringing that up, because I'm not even sure that I'd be able to watch it anyway, because it's not on DAZN or where is it actually being broadcast, because Eddie Hearn didn't have the purse bid for this one. It was somebody else, and then it's on a, what is it, pay-per-view.com, some random broadcaster. So I don't know. But if you've just joined us, thank you very much. If you could hit the like, the subscribe, if you want to come back again and you want to get notifications, I really do appreciate that. I'm Abs of October Red, and it's Saturday night, and that means it's fight night. We are doing conversation and commentary for the main event on this Queensbury card out here in Germany, which is Ajit Kabayel versus Damien Knyba. I hope I've pronounced that properly. We've got the German versus the Polish fighter. Ajit obviously fights out of Germany, and I think Knyba fights out of US, New York. I think that's where he's listed as his hometown. So yeah, interesting fight that is. Knyba's been more active, like I said earlier, but Ajit Kabayel, we know what he can do. The best thing that Knyba can do, if I'm going to be honest, is just try and stay out of his way, because once Ajit gets on the inside and he's comfortable on the inside with his timing, he's quite slick, it could end up being a short night for Knyba. But we'll see. We'll see. It's heavyweights. Anything is possible, and you can never really place all your bets on one fighter as it goes. So welcome to all of you on this fine winter evening. If you're in the Midlands like I am, I'm in Birmingham, UK, not Alabama. We've had some really heavy snow. So if you live in the hilly parts of Birmingham, it's been an absolute nightmare. And it's times like these when I wish I had a 4x4. I've got about now, but it was a bit of a struggle when it started snowing. So we got stuck here for a bit. But yeah, here we go. So 68DG, thanks for replying to that. It's the UFC model, 80-20 money split, and was the reason why Greedy Dana took so many years to step into boxing. Without Turkey, he wouldn't be in boxing. So you think he's kind of like opened the door? I still think, and this is just me being me, 68, and for those of you that are listening, I think what we've got is we've got His Excellency as the main, I'd like to say, is the puppet master. Yeah, he's the one that is controlling the strings because of the heavy financial involvement, sponsorship, whatever it is that he's got in boxing. He's even with Ben Shalom from Boxer as well. There's a partnership or a sponsorship going on there. So if you think he's going to be privy to conversations, privy to potential deals, etc., etc., it seems a bit conflicty if obviously Dana's going to go up against or potentially take on and Eddie Hearn or all the promoters, you know, Frank Warren, Queensbury, etc., when you've got the same shareholder, it's just I get it, and you're going to take the money. If someone's going to offer to invest in your business, you're going to take the money. But I don't know. I'd just be like, you've got your finger in everyone's pie. I don't know. But that's just me. That is just me. Right, James. Oh, sorry, have I missed Mr. A? Would you ever do it? Al Leong. Who's that? Who's that? AP. Who's that? Let's have a look. James Douglas. I think DAZN tried to get on, but it sounds like the promoter wanted a lot of money. Fair enough. Yeah, money. 3 rounds max. You're saying .69. 3 rounds max. Interesting. Did you ever meet Tim Westwood? And this is from Beautiful Golden Dragon. I remember him from Radio 1 days, but was curious about your recent video about him. Good content, though. No, I didn't, and I was never a fan, if I'm honest. Though there were a lot of DJs that were just as talented, if not better, but they never got the limelight for whatever reason. So no, I know that when I was younger, probably in my late teens, he was doing a lot of the hip hop nights out, if you could say, and obviously you got the connections for all the hip hop artists that will come over and from the US to the UK, you know, and he get all the acknowledgement for it because he was like mainstream. But no, I hadn't met him, not been to any of his concerts. I just found the case quite interesting because sometimes you can listen to these things that are happening. Oh, what's Philip Hergovich saying? Oh, he's talking about the fight. It's interesting what's happening with him because there's a lot of cases, and if you don't understand how cases work, I've just got my teeth into it and just explaining how they're both going on. I haven't done anything more with that yet because he's pleaded not guilty. So they're supposed to be, I think he's supposed to be going to trial in the next couple of weeks. I don't know how they're going to get all of that evidence, especially when it's a cold case dating back from the 80s. But I'll probably start doing more content on that when obviously what happens at trial, because obviously he's gone in not guilty, isn't he? So that means people are going to have to go to court, give evidence, and all the other stuff. So yeah, I'll pick that back up then. But yeah, wasn't a fan. Sen, the main event has not started yet. We are in round number 8 of 10 with Shyla versus Milas. So the main event has not started yet. I'm going to say, what, around 8? I'm going to probably say, I don't know, say about 15, 20 minutes for the main event to start. Oh, right. Okay. A legend, an unsung hero. He was the little Chinese man who played a henchman in tons of 80s films. And you know what? I appreciate you saying that, AP, because I dropped the boxing thing off my YouTube channel quite a while ago because all I want to do is have good guests on the channel. It doesn't matter whether you're a fighter, actor, singer, whoever you are. I want to try and get different guests on the channel because if you're a conversationalist, you should be able to speak to anybody. My expertise, like you said, you put his name and I was like, who was that? And you know what you're like. Half of me thinks you was trolling, but I'd love to get loads of guests on the channel. So yeah, David Rodigan. But you know what? He was good though. And it's really weird because he did put on the Yardman accent as well. So if you didn't know who he was, because I think when I first heard of him, I thought he was like a black guy from Jamaica. But yeah, like I said, sometimes when you step over into a genre that is not for you, you get more credit because it's like, oh, look at him doing that, like that impersonator syndrome. Do you know what I mean? AP goes on to say Westwood was always known as a wrong un, and I could never stand him. See, I didn't know that about Westwood, to be fair. I'm a great fan of hip hop. That was like the genre that I'd listened to when I was younger. God knows what's happened to it now. Some of it's all right, but some of it, but yeah, not a fan. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with him. Very, very interesting. You was trolling. See, that's what I mean. But but to be fair, listen, my interview doors are open for any good guests that can come on the channel. It's not just boxers, it's not just about boxing, it's just about getting good conversations with people. As you can see, you can put up different playlists. The boxing's dropped off it, it's media, and that's what it is. So here we are. It is Saturday night, so good evening, good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I'm Abs of October Red, and this is a live watch along. It is conversation and commentary for Ajit Kabayel versus Damien Knyba. So it's a fight before. There was loads to catch up on. I haven't done a live for ages, so you've had to listen to me rabbit on, but engage with the chat about everything that we've been up to, everything that's been happening on X, and obviously a couple of fights that have been on tonight's card as well. So yeah, we've gone over Oscar De La Hoya. We spoke about Moses Atauma. I think Roman Fury was on. I think he got criticised for the early stoppage, but he didn't do it. So whatever, fair play, he got stoppage. We spoke about obviously Rob Tebbett's interview that he's done with Eddie Hearn. That seems to be the one channel that I've looked at. I tend to, when the cards are abroad, I'll find a channel, check their content, and then I'll just stick with that channel and try and get all my information off them because there'll always be continuity with each interview. So it's easier. We spoke about Oscar De La Hoya and the 60-40 split. Yeah, so we've covered quite a lot this evening. And Ricky 2459, good evening to you. We're in round number 9 of 10 of Shayla versus Milas. It looks like it's been quite an interesting fight so far. It looks like we've got Southpaw versus Orthodox. And are we switching? So I lied. And that's Milas, I think, that's switching stance here. Seems if it's been quite an interesting fight so far. My eyes have been in the chat and not on the fight. So let's have a look and see what's going on here. We've got Shayla just doing some work there, but Milas just pushing him back with the hard, stiff jab. He jabbed through the guard again. Milas is using his lateral movement. Let's have a look. Milas at the center of the ring, throwing that nice jab. Probably leaning into it a little bit, though. It's almost like he doesn't want to get too close. Maybe the shots that have come back from Shayla have been a bit heavy. Let's have a look at his stance here. The peekaboo style there. Both of them literally going at it. Clubbing hook there from Shayla. I don't know how you guys have got the scores on this. I think I'm going to try and score the main event for the first time ever in my life and try and get it right. Who knows? Let's see. Beautiful uppercut and hook coming in there from Shayla to Milas. Both guys in the clinch. The ref separates the two. We saw the ref on the floor earlier in that Herrera fight. That was interesting. Herrera reminds me of Extension, the guy that was murdered in America, the American rapper. It reminds me of him. I don't know why. Let's have a look. Milas now. Well, he's pushing forward. I was about to say he's now on the back foot as Shayla goes into the center of the ring, but he pushes him back once again. Now in the orthodox stance, both guys in the orthodox stance. The jab comes in through Milas. Better stance now as Shayla just tries to throw that hook onto the head of Milas. He's switched now. This is Milas switch back to Southpaw. Sweeping uppercut comes in. They're just grazing the face of Milas as both guys go into the clinch. We've got 20 seconds left of round number 9 of 10. Interesting. 1-2. Nice 1-2 there from Milas. But they're throwing at the same time, guys. Milas, look, that's it. 1-2 comes back from Shayla as Milas throws his 1-2. The jab through the guard. The bell goes. It looks like we're going to be going into the final rounds before we head into the main event. So if you've just joined us, a very good evening to you. I'm Abs of October Red, and this is a live watch-along conversation and commentary, our first of 2026. Let's have a look. What female boxing fights are you excited for? Oh, Azare videos. I know the Elif Turhan's just been announced. She's got a new fight coming up, hasn't she? After what she did to Beatrice Ferreira. Insane. I don't know, if I'm honest. I don't know. The fights that I'd like to see, I don't know if they're going to happen. I'd like to see Alicia Baumgardner with Caroline Dubois. I'd like to see Alicia Baumgardner with Amanda Serrano. But these are fights that are potentially not going to happen. But I don't know. I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know. Except for the ones that I've just mentioned. Double jab coming in there from Shayla. As he's on the back foot once again. Throwing in the 1-2. Silas comes in. Switching stance from southpaw to orthodox. Beautiful jab there from Silas. Knocking the head back of Shayla. The hook's coming in. Oh, wow. Beautiful hook there from Shayla. Just the dipping of the legs. Sorry, from Milas. The dipping of the legs of Shayla. Nice work. He's got a nice stiff jab he has. Oh, hooks again and he goes down. Beautiful hook comes in there from Milas. Shayla's down on the floor. He's a bit wobbly on his legs as he gets back up. The ref is counting him. He's wobbly on his feet. He's out of breath. The ref's looking at him. Can he keep still? Can he look at the ref? He lets him go back in again. We are in the final round. And I think Milas is going to go for it. And he's going to try and get that hook once again. Yep, Shayla gets it. Goes in for the clinch. Milas pulls back. Throws the same shots again. Just that sweeping hook. He just can't miss with that hook. Oh, he's going to go down. He's going to go down. The ref is even saying to the ref, you should stop it. But the ref does nothing. And Shayla goes down on his back. Milas looked at the ref like to say, I don't think you should let this carry on. The ref didn't do anything. Towel's gone in. Yeah, have to be safe from yourself. That ref, what a load of. Yeah, even right, the team. Yeah, but no, look, it's kicked off in the ring from Team Shayla. Has gone up to Milas having a go. Oh, it's Milash. I do beg your pardon. My pronunciation slightly off there. Yeah, that hook couldn't miss. Is he on the floor? Is Shayla on the floor? That hook just couldn't miss. Dangerous. Heavy punch. And to be fair, it wasn't messy boxing either. They were boxing and some heavy shots were being thrown in. He couldn't miss with the jab, knocking the head back. But it's the timing that he had to like throw the jab and then just come in with the hook. There was no 1, 2, 3. It was a 1 and the 3. And that, I think, stunned Shayla. Yeah, good. Nice work. It was busy in the beginning, guys. And it's just literally, he's got the stoppage in the last round. But even he looked at the ref like to say, I think I should stop now. The ref didn't do anything. He went in for the kill. And then obviously Shayla just went down on his back. Yeah, he's up. I think he sat on his stool. And then obviously, eventually, Shayla's team threw the towel in. You know when they say better late than never? Not in boxing. Very, very dangerous. Yeah, James Douglas, I agree. Tia Hayton, fantastic talent. And she's powerful as well. If you don't believe me, just look at who her opponents have fought before her and gone the distance with. She's a talent. Yeah, and she's got the right attitude as well. She's not full of herself. You'd probably meet her and she's, very approachable, but understands who and what she is. So I wish her all the best. I think, oh no, it's Leo Watang that's out in Newcastle, isn't it? On the 31st on the Josh Kelly undercard. I'm not sure when Tia's back out, but she was out, just before Christmas. So I'm presuming any February card, any March card, she'll be back out. Interesting to hear when they're going to announce when Ben Whittaker's fighting. Are they going to do a fight in America with him, which is what they said they was going to do, or they're going to keep him in the UK? Obviously, the fight was ordered with Joshua Buatsi. I think they came to some kind of decision not to let that fight happen and let him continue to build his career. There was some mention of, even Benavidez at one point, but it's like, slow your roll. just build your arsenal, walk forward, get all of that experience that you need, and then start taking on the names. Yep, definitely boom. Let's have a look. Look, watch this. Whack. Look at that. Just on the ear, behind the guard, and then straight, that hook straight on his chin as he goes down to the floor. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Daz, how you doing? Definitely decent fight. Shout out to Dazza as well, one of the original subscribers that's been here from the beginning. Shout out to my fellow Scotsman. I think my name's Irish, actually. I think my surname. I think one of them's Irish. My maiden name's Irish, I think. And then my married name's Scottish. Yeah. What's the time limit for the Kabayel? Time limit? Do you mean what time's it on? I'm gonna say this fight's finished now, so I'm presuming it's gonna be probably the next 10 minutes. They'll probably have a little bit of a chat. Usually they like the card to potentially come out at 9:30, but hopefully it'll be before that. Hopefully that answers your question. Right, James Douglas, Subra Matthias fight gloves were rejected by the New York State Athletic Commission following a complaint by Team Smith. Yeah, we mentioned that earlier, and that was by Rob Tebbett. Yeah, we mentioned that earlier, James. So let's have a look. Who won? Have I missed something there? Who won this fight? I thought have they announced who's won the fight? I thought you got it via stoppage. All right. I thought, wow. I thought, what's going on here? Bear with me. I'm just waiting to see the announcement of who has won the fight. It's got to be Milas. He stopped him. That's what happens when you half listen to the commentary. Let's have a look and see what happens. Neunundzwanzig. Yeah, Milas got it. I was thinking, what? Trying to listen to the commentary there. Right, if you can see, look, I've even got my little scorecard up. I'm going to try and write. I don't do this particularly well, but I'm going to try and score the main event fight. So, guys, those of you that are asking what time the main event is on, that is going to be coming up next. Obviously, they've announced the winner for this good fight. I enjoyed this fight. I definitely will be keeping an eye on this Milas. I've never seen him before. Didn't do any studying on his previous fights, and this is what I'm saying. Sometimes it's really good to do the fights in other countries because you get other fighters from other countries get to showcase themselves. We wouldn't necessarily have seen him. I think one of the fighters that's come over to the UK is Nelson Hysan. Even then, I think he fights out of America anyway. So taking their pictures. I'm going to see how long these guys are going to start yapping for while I potentially start yapping as we wait for the main event to start. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have just joined us, we've got about 1,400 in the chat. So we're doing particularly well this evening, considering it's my first one back for 2026. So I appreciate all of you that are in the chat. If you can, hit the subscribe button and share and do all the magical stuff. I do appreciate you taking the time out to listen to me rambling on about boxing this evening. But it is for the watch along, no footage, just the watch along conversation and commentary for Ajit Kabayel versus Knyba. We know that Ajit Kabayel has had a really good run. I spoke to him. I think it was Usyk Dubois fight week, was it? Can't remember. It might have been. Wembley, probably. And the fight that I was really looking forward to watching was Kabayel versus Parker. But obviously, Parker went and fight young Fabio Wardley, and we all know how that turned out. And obviously, we don't know what's going to happen now because, you know, Parker was waiting for such a long time in a great position to go and fight Usyk, and then look what happened. This is heavyweight boxing. You can't predict it sometimes. You think you can, but you can't. I always knew not to write off Fabio, but yeah, the way that you got him out of there in the end was just something else. So yeah, so Ajit Kabayel won't be fighting Parker. I think Lawrence Okoli is over there waiting to smell the blood to see who he can fight. He's trying to put himself out there, and you've got to rate that because sometimes you've got to do the graft. You've got, as a fighter that may not have that big profile, that may not be supported by the promoters, or you're not the star boy, you're not the top of the class. You've got to go out there and put your face out there and say, hello, I'm still here. Don't forget about me. And that's what he's doing. I think a lot of heavyweights should do that. I think they should turn up to fight. I think they should make themselves busy. At the end of the day, when they do get paid, they're compensated well. And you really need to look at your opponents close up. So why not go to the fight? So I will say respect to Lawrence Okoli that's gone out there to Germany. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Let's have a look. Peter Raymond, it's a new year and we need latest updates for... Oh, are we starting this again? Ladies and gentlemen, if you've just joined us and you're not used... We've got like a little bit of a boxing community here. Sometimes we argue with each other as well. It doesn't get too nasty, but we're like that. We're like a family at Christmas that hasn't seen each other for ages. And when we get together, it can be good, it can be bad, it can be all sorts. But I guarantee you it's fun. Now, Chris, and I'm sorry to do this to you again, Chris. We always start on Chris with his relationship, and please don't take this as bullying. I don't want my channel take it. It's banter. We do banter Chris about who his girlfriend is at the moment. And Chris usually says, get back to boxing. I haven't got a girlfriend, etc. But yeah, you'll get used to it. If you come again, this banter will be here. And Peter Raymond, I don't think I've seen you for a minute, so you've just popped out of nowhere. Django says, your watch-alongs magnets, they are always fun. Can you imagine? And I do these sober. Can you imagine if I liked alcohol? I'd be on the ceiling. Jada Herrera was on earlier, got knocked down round 1, then came back and stopped Ricardo Nunes later. It's a step up he needed, and it shows Herrera is still raw for a world title. And I do agree with that. He got knocked down round 1, and then obviously the referee got... I don't know what happened to him. Fell over just before the stoppage because I think he went behind Herrera to pull him away from Nunes. He got Nunes with a beautiful shot. I think it was a hook again, which he looked like he was out on his feet. Yeah, it was a good fight. But like you said, when you think about fighters like Abdullah Mason, not yet. Not yet. Just keep on doing what you're doing. Build Herrera because he is good. Don't get me wrong, he is good, but not yet. Not for the likes of Abdullah Mason. I saw them. I think Sam Noakes was on the list. Sam Noakes is a Queensbury fighter in fight. Maybe I don't think they'll do that though. To be fair, because they're in house, they might not necessarily put those two together. There was a couple of other names on there. I think Shakur's going up. Javante Davis, we don't know what's happening with him at all. I think so he might be actually Herrera might get elevated. I don't know where he is in the rankings actually, but yeah, not just keep him away from Abdullah. No, Abdullah's something else. I like Abdullah. Yes, Crispy Komodo, how are you? Good evening. Happy New Year to you. And yeah, Chris will always move on through it. We get it. Jazzy Jabs, I haven't seen you for ages, but I'll tell you something, Jazzy Jabs. I have seen you moonlighting on other channels. Comments, I get a bit precious when I see that. I'm thinking, What are you doing here? So I've seen you about, Jazzy, but good evening to you. That ref, Timo High, is it Habigorst? Look like the fellow who does the voice for Homer Simpson. Yeah. Moses versus Wardley, Martin says. Ooh. That's interesting. Martin, I'm going to leave that up to the chat because that's a very, in fact, let me pin it. Right, I've pinned. Is that on the screen? It should be on the screen. Right. I'll leave that to the chat because that is a very, very, that's interesting. And you know that I think, and this is just me, and I don't know anything. If one of them's going to have to leave that gym, and I don't think it's going to be Moses, because remember, they're in the same gym. They might not exactly be trained by the same trainer per se as such, because I know Fabio's had his trainer from way back when, but they can't both be in the same gym and fight each other. So I'm going to leave that pin there. We've got 1,800 listening live now. So if you can, hit the subscribe button. I do appreciate all the subscribers I've got, but I'm greedy and I want more. I don't need more, just want them. So yeah, I appreciate all of you listening in tonight. We are going into the main event. It hasn't started yet. We've got ads on the TV. There is no footage. It is conversation and commentary. It is a heavyweight bout. And yeah, we're going to go into the chat while we wait for that to air when the ads are finished. So that's the answer that can answer Woozy. Herrera needs 2 more fights, then put him in. 2. You reckon 2? I don't know. Crispy Komodo, Happy New Year to you too. Yes, all good. How about yourself? I'm all good. All the better for being here with you guys. Like I said, it's been ages since I've done one of these. I miss doing our watch-alongs. We do have a laugh. We do have fun. So I said, you know what? I know it's in Germany. I know it hasn't got all the British fighters on it, but you know what? Europe. It's next door, isn't it? Time zone, not a problem. Let's do it. Oh, Chris has got a girlfriend then, but they're in the talking stage. That's it. We are mates. That's what they all say. Martin is saying that he reckons Moses beats Fabio all day. You can't write Fabio off, though. You just can't. And you just can't. Fabio's a bit of an anomaly. And I understand it, you know, he's done really, really well to get where he's got. And what I rated so much about Fabio was when he gave so much credit, and in fact, all of the credit to Dillian White for believing in him, for backing him, and for getting him into the position that he is today. So I really like that about Fabio. The one thing with me, when don't bite the hand that feeds you, isn't, you know, and he didn't do that with Dillian. So I like that. Moses is extremely dangerous. He's athletic. He can move in and out very quickly. And we know that he's got that one punch power as well. Yeah, I don't know. Wardley, Crudder, more experience. Okay. You man are done for. Good evening. EJ, good evening to you. Good to see you. Happy New Year to you all. EJ Boxing, I've got to shout him out as well. I feel like I do a bit of tribute. EJ, when I first started my channel, he was the one that hooked me up to get interviews with fighters, to get interviews with trainers when I was just starting out. He must have saw my channel, said, you know what? I can help you do this. I can get this person on your channel. He gave me so many different numbers, introduced me to loads of different people, like online. He even introduced me to Dillian White. He was the one that made the connection with myself and Dillian White. And obviously, you know, I get on with him quite well. So that's EJ Boxing. So like I said, there's certain people that have done so much for me. I can never like sit here and not say thank you to them. So EJ Boxing Live, thank you very, very much for all of the support that you've given me throughout years. Right, the only Chris Welsh goes on to say Moses is very good, but I still need to see him v world level opponents. He will blow Franklin away. Franklin's movement is terrible. I've seen an old grandma move better. But you say that, Chris, but Anthony Joshua couldn't stop him, and neither could Dillian White. So I think if Moses gets that stoppage, I think that's a massive statement because he's so tough. Moses has been asking for rounds. He's wanted fighters that can potentially give him those rounds, and fighters haven't been able to do it. He has been in there with people that other heavyweights have been in there with, and he's got them out there quicker. I understand he's a younger fighter. The names aren't necessarily as credible. Look, he could blow Jermaine Franklin out of the water. I'm not saying that he can't, but I still think it's a good test. And like I said, he can't go back down. When he starts fighting the likes of, Jermaine Franklin, he's going to start being put in the mix with, Lawrence Okoli said he'd fight him. So we see what happens there. Fights are there. Abs just popped in to drop that comment into chat. I've got to go. Peace out. Martin, look after yourself. Happy New Year to you. Jazzy Jab says, I thought I'd packed it in. First time your channel has popped up in my feed in months. Never. There's always content on there. Definitely not packing it in. I know a lot of people would like me to pack it in, but I ain't going anywhere. So, no, definitely still here. Probably not attending as many fights as usual, but if I'm not, I'll be doing the watch-alongs. So, yeah, definitely not packing it in. Wrong one for that. Eamon 6237, please like and share, my people. I really do appreciate that. Very, very much. Very kind of you to say that. Peter Raymond goes on, exactly. That's what they all say. And we're going back to Chris Welsh again. Star Fox goes on to say, Okoli not only... Star Fox. Where's Skyliner? Okoli not only bit the hand that fed him, he ate a whale. AJ and the whole 358 team. 258. The trolling. It continues. He doesn't care though. He went and sparred Jake Paul, didn't he? Yeah, you got to give EJ his props. Deutschland was gibt. Germany was what? Oh, I haven't done German for ages. Yeah, shout out you, man. I've done 4 as well, man. Like Star Fox. Oh, I've got the originals in here. It's emotional. White movement was terrible too. AJ don't like moving, and AJ always struggled against smaller opponents and was down in confidence with punch resistance. Yeah. So what did you think about his fight with Jake Paul then? Because I thought he was a bit tentative in that as well, But fair play to him. Even he said, I think Gareth A. Davis must have did like a post-fight interview with him, and Gareth was obviously saying what some of the critics were saying, and AJ was like, yeah, I don't blame him for saying that. I should have got him out there earlier. So even he was self-critical of himself immediately. So he says, yeah, let them say what they want. I get it. So Moses is fighting Jermaine Franklin done for. Let's have a look. Franklin can clinch a Talma. All he wants is a Talma will just punch his arms away. Then it's good night. Yeah, the thing is, a Talma can get you. One of the moves that I like that he did, and it's when he fought on the back foot and he caught that guy. I don't know who he was. He wasn't anyone special. I can't remember what he was. Can't remember his name. An American chap. And he caught him as he was coming in, and it literally looked like his the way that he just knocked he spun. It's like he was trying to punch at the same time, but Moses got him and he spun from the shot and fell on the floor. Beautiful work. Jazzy Jabs, George Warren turning into Madame Two Swords himself. He's quite a nice guy. He's not a fan of doing interviews. I did get to say I pinned him down once. I got him to speak to me once. Very, very nice guy. I've been to the office and they're all very nice at the Queensbury head office. I went there. I made myself busy and managed to I asked for permission to go there, and it just didn't just turn up at the door. Please, sir, can I have some more? But I went there and the office were fabulous, very accommodating. George was there, lovely guy, great atmosphere in the office. But equally, I've been to Matchroom offices as well. The whole team, fabulous guys. A lot of these people in boxing behind the scenes, the ones that you don't necessarily see, the ones in charge of the media, the ones that do the promos and stuff. Absolutely fantastic. Fantastic, creative, artistic, friendly, great people that aren't necessarily in front of the camera. I might try and grab some of them sometimes and get them on. Right, let's have a look. You Man of Done 4 says AJ can actually resist punches. He's only been knocked out twice on his feet, never out cold. What did Dubois do to him then? Well, he wasn't out cold because he still tried to get up, but he tried to get up and he weren't getting up, was he? Yeah, you're right. He wasn't cold, but he weren't getting up. Right, let's have a look. Eamon says AJ keeps saying he's learning the sweet science, but he's an overthinker. And you know what? I do agree with that, Eamon, and I get it because I used to do that. I used to overthink absolutely everything, and all it does is it takes away today's peace because you constantly going over things in your head all the time, different scenarios, different outcomes. Usually when you're an overthinker, you're not a positive overthinker as well. You think quite negatively. So it really doesn't help. But everyone really is still learning, aren't they? But he's got a lot of skill. And if he was to just to press that and do what he does, wow, look at his outfit. He's come out as a knight. Knyba's come out as he's got like wings on his outfit and he's come out with like soldiers. How on earth? He's come out in a knight's outfit. That's absolutely insane. I like that though. He's got knights walking him to the ring. And is he dressed up as an angel? Anybody from Poland that's in the chat that can actually give me the reference of what he's coming is, what's the significance? Forgive my history knowledge on Poland. I will apologize now. I do like it though. Here we go. No, there is. I will not be showing the fight. Sorry. It's conversation and commentary. There is no fight here. You'll have to subscribe to DAZN like the rest of us. Sorry, Martina. I love that outfit as he climbs over the ropes. And this is the Polish fighter, Knyba, that's getting into the ring. He dons red and white, patriotic colours, the colours of his flag, tassels down the arms of his robes, hood over his head. I really like this outfit. I do like when they put efforts into their boxing outfits. And now, obviously, the Kabayel will be called out next. It's main event time, guys. So if you've just joined us on Abs of October Red, it is conversation and commentary. There is no footage. And it's for the heavyweight clash between Ajit Kabayel, German's own, and the Polish Damian Knyba. A fight that I have been, looking forward to, having a look at, Knyba, what he can do. They've got very similar records. A good fight for Ajit is keeping busy. And apparently he sold out this event in quite quick succession, actually. So I can see Queensbury going back to Germany. I heard about something big in the summer. I'm definitely going to try and get over to Germany for that. I do want to leave the country, actually. So I think we'll take baby steps and we'll go to Europe first before I go to the United States of America or Mexico for one of the other fights. But here he is. He comes out donning a black T-shirt. Let's have a look at his robes, who he's with, who's walking out with him. I think he might be alone, just as security there with him. No, he's got somebody holding his belt. His outfit's quite a tone down from how his opponent has come out to the ring. But he looks ready. I'm not sure if he's slightly heavier. I can't remember what he weighed on the scales. But let's see how he gets into this fight. Yeah, he's got the security with him and one of his team carrying the green and gold. And I'm sure that they've said now, even though I thought I did, no, to be fair, Okolie actually behind him. They're talking about him going for a world title shot next. So potentially, who knows? They're going to put in a petition. If he gets through this fight, guys, if he gets through this fight to fight Alexander Usyk, Eamon, that's a very, very good question. What's the biggest challenges in this industry? I think when I first started, it was to be taken seriously because I am a female in a male dominated sport. So I think sometimes, even when I'd speak to the fighters, they were a little bit astonished that I'd understood what I was talking about, that I wasn't just like I don't know, a wailing fan that was trying to chat up a fighter. So I think it was the ability to be taken seriously. I think that was a challenge. And sometimes with some of the subscribers as well, in the beginning they were like, "Oh, I'll get back in the kitchen," or they'd probably comment on my accent, or comment on where I'm from, how I look. It was very magnified to start off with, but then some of those people that started off with negative comments actually came back and have been great subscribers ever since. I think you have to be resilient. You can't take things seriously. Otherwise, you'll just be upset all the time. But I've met some great people, the promoters, the fighters, the teams, the people that put up the rings, the one that walk them out, the fighters out to the ring, the coaches. I've met so many great characters in the sport. It just negates anything negative that's happened. But as you know, in life, Eamon, you can't have the good and not have the bad with it. You have to have both. There's always going to be a balance. But the one thing is resilience. You have to be resilient. This is what I love doing. I love speaking to people. I love getting to know people. It like for a purpose. I'm not one of these people that just starts randomly speaking to strangers in the week. However, like the profession, whatever profession it is, I love to get to know people. And like I said, I've got resilience anyway. And I'll finish this when I'm dead. That's when I'll stop. So yeah. But thank you. Very, very good question. You got to believe in yourself. I think that's probably the biggest challenge is you've got to believe in yourself when nobody else does. So yeah. Here we go. They're announcing the fighters now. Listen to the audience. What a fan base Ajit has got. I remember when I spoke to him, when I interviewed him, and he told me about his fan base in Germany, and to hear them cheer for him. Look at this. Look at Knyba. He looks a little bit like a lurch, doesn't he? A little bit. Good luck to you both. Touch gloves. The fighters back into their corners. The coaches give them the final words of encouragement as they once also step themselves out of the ring so we can get this finale on. We've got 3,000 in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Please hit the like and subscribe. It helps the algorithm. And I do appreciate all of you spending your time here with us this evening. Here we go. Round number 1 goes out. Kabayel straight into the center of the ring as Knyba throws out the jab. Kabayel ducks underneath it. Knyba starts off fast, throwing in a hook to the head. Both of the guys in the clinch. The ref separates the two. Action straight away with this heavyweight bout. Put my teeth back in. Knyba throws the 1-2 to Ajit Kabayel. They're both battling for the center of the ring. Once again in the clinch. Because, he's going to try and keep Ajit off. We know what Ajit is like. Ajit wants to fight on the inside. He wants to get on the inside, doesn't he? He looks like Knyba's got really, really long levers. Ajit's just going to want to get inside. And you know what his signature shots are. It's that uppercut and the hook. As Knyba throws a hook to the head of Ajit and throws his own uppercut. Nice work from Knyba to start off with. He's very active. He's very busy. And it seems as if it's Ajit that's going in for the clinch, even though Knyba's got Ajit's right arm in the clinch. As he pushes him off, the ref didn't need to separate the two. Ajit in the center of the ring. The hook goes into the body as Ajit goes in as if he's going to go from the clinch. It looks as if he's been just a little bit bullied here by Knyba, who's the taller fighter. He's got the longer levers, who's pushing him away as he tries to come in on the inside. Let's have a look. Nice, beautiful hook goes in there from Ajit, but once again, he swings, goes for the hook again, but misses. Knyba on the back foot. Ajit is in the center of the ring, but Knyba isn't scared of what's coming back at him whatsoever. Nice boxing form. Just keeps that right hand just underneath the chin there as he throws out the jab with the left. Kabayel comes in, looks a little bit more fleshy than he usually does. I don't know, maybe it's just my eyes, as he goes in for the body shot, which is what Kabayel will do. He'll start to break you down, going for the body. But it looks as if he's taking a few hits here as the uppercut and the hook comes in and the backhand comes in from Knyba to Kabayel, who just can't seem to just get into that range so we can get his shots off properly. And we've got some reddening on the face of Kabayel as we are in the final stages of round number 1 of 12. The body shots there, excellent. Kabayel finds his range, hits him with the 2 body shots with the right hand as Knyba goes backwards. And the shots coming back from Knyba look like they're pouring slightly. So maybe that's the plan. Get to Knyba, stop him throwing the shots, attack the body. We've got 13 seconds left of round number 1. A nice busy round for both fighters. Sweet uppercut landed there from Knyba. 1-2 from Knyba once again as Ajit goes to throw in the overhand and round number 1. I'm going to give round number 1. Guys, let me know what you think. I'm going to give round number 1 to Knyba. Let me know what you think. I'm gonna try and score this. Guys, if you've been here before, you know I don't score fights. So this is just going to go wrong. Yes, the corners are speaking in German. I do like to try and reiterate what the corners are saying to you guys, but unfortunately, they're speaking in German. So that's just not going to happen, is it? Yeah, Lloyd Barrett. Yes, here we go. Legal Eagles, I agree. Knyba started well. Guys, please put the scores in the chat as well, because I want to know what you guys think to make sure we're on the same page. Yeah, Knyba's round. Lloyd Barrett says, yeah. Kabayel getting a little overwhelmed. The challenger means business. His round, thank God. Yeah, I can score 1 round at least. Here we go. Round number 2 of 12. 5 seconds in as Kabayel tries to walk forward and get into Knyba once again, but both guys are in the clinch. Probably should have watched more of Knyba's fights before I watched this, you know. He's got really, really long levers. Backhand lands nicely there from Kabayel. But I think the best thing Kabayel can do is try and just go under the shots, go under those long levers, and try and attack the body like he did when he had that success, when he got those 2 right body shots to Knyba's gut as he pushes out the jab. Considering Knyba's on the back foot, he's fighting particularly well. And Kabayel just can't seem to land the shots that he wants to, but he is beautiful once again. Body shot lands on Knyba from Kabayel. That's what he needs to do as he throws the overhand left to right to follow up with. Knyba comes back, throwing his own 1-2 into the face through the guard of Kabayel, and doesn't seem like he can miss with the jab as well as he jabs. Nice double jab there on the head of Kabayel that goes back. Kabayel once again throws the shot to the body, then the overhand right. Knyba comfortable on the back foot. The thing is, he can push him back. He's got that strength to push Kabayel away. Both guys in the clinch. They're going to wear out if they keep clinching like this so early. It's a 12-round fight. This is going to get particularly tiring. But there is a height disparity. I didn't check the measurements of Knyba. Maybe I should have done, but he's quite tall. Tall and long levers. On the back foot, but throwing in the shots as he throws in the 1-2. 1-2 once again as Ajit Kabayel just bobs and weaves his head, tries to walk in, but he needs to really go under those shots and potentially try an uppercut, which Knyba's just thrown at him. As he's got a shot landed there. I think it was the backhand landed on Knyba as he went back into the ropes just for a short moment there. The hook goes into the head from Ajit Kabayel. Nice work there as Knyba tries to throw his own back. But the good thing about Ajit is he'll smother the work. So Knyba can't necessarily get the work off at close range. I don't know if it's because of the height difference, but it's better when Ajit is in close because he can't seem to pull it off. Those long levers seem to work best at range. Let's have a look. Jab to the body shot there as Knyba just pours out the jab to Kabayel, who's hunting him down as he throws in a backhand to finish. That's a work from, oh, I don't know about that one now. Who have you got for that round? Let's have a look. Eamon says, I'm not watching the fight live. I'm just listening to your commentary, so can't really score the rounds. So Camille's got Knyba for this round. Who have you got for this round, guys? I think I'm going to give Kabayel this one. Don't know why. I'm going to give. Yes, it was kind of even, wasn't it? But I'm going to give it to Kabayel. And what are you saying, Django? Kabayel should stop respecting the dude so much. 68 DG says it's an even round. Yeah, let's see. Let us see how it carries on. Here we go. Going into round number 3 of 12. I always say when the rounds go fast, it means it's a good fight. So 10 seconds down from round number 3. As Knyba throws out that long lever, that long jab, and Ajit Kabayel just tries to get on the inside. But you've got to look at it when it comes to point scoring. It's that jab. Some of the jabs getting through. Don't get me wrong. Kabayel's keeping his head offline, so they're not all landing. But I want to see a little bit more of a game plan from Kabayel and not just him like marching forward and then throwing the shots off as he gets inside. Try and set something up. You can see here that Knyba is very, very happy with that jab. You know the jab's going to come. Parry it, slip under it, move to the right, throw in a body shot. Just be little bit more savvy with the feet. Let's have a look. The jab comes out. The pouring jab comes out from Knyba. Once again, guys are in the clinch. An uppercut came in there from Knyba once again. 1-2 from Kabayel. And just to give you guys a visual, Kabayel is on the front foot. Knyba's on the back foot. But albeit he's on the back foot, he is fighting particularly well. When Kabayel gets in on the inside, he's smothering the work from Knyba. So Knyba can't get his shots off properly. It seems as if Kabayel's waking up a little bit now. Let's have a look as the jab from Knyba is used as more like a keep away from me rather than a fight. Ajit Kabayel now starting to attack the body. 1-2 to the head. But you know what he wants to do. He wants to get to the body so he can start doing his, what I like to call them, Street Fighter route moves, when you find what move works to hurt your opponent and you just keep on doing it over and over again. And that's how I find Ajit as a boxer. Let's have a look. 1-2. Knyba comes back with a backhand. Seems as if Knyba might be slowing down. Beautiful shot there. I think he's wobbling on his legs. The overhand work coming in from Ajit Kabayel as he continues to go for the head. Knyba is very unsteady on his feet as he throws out a jab. The ref's really having a good look here. Both of the men in the clinch. Kabayel really caught him with a shot there. Really unsteady on his feet. Let's have a look. As he goes in for the hook, he's going to go down. The ref's waved it off. The ref's waved it off. That was very, very premature. That is like, for me, that's like a date that's gone wrong. I mean, all right, don't get me wrong. He was unsteady on his feet. But that was, to me, it could have let him carry on a bit. That would be I'd be very, very frustrated if I was that fighter. Yeah, well, the day I get my scorecards out is the day that I don't actually need them because Ajit Kabayel gets to stop it. Look, he was going to win. He was going to win. He was unsteady on his feet. He was going for the kill. But that was as premature as a date gone wrong. But let's have a look. He's still down on his stool. Am I premature saying that it was premature? Let's have a look. He's sat down. Is he shaking his head in like disbelief? He's sat on his stool though. He's not standing up yet. But congratulations to Ajit. But I do believe that just on the surface of it, like I said, I can't see Knyba because everyone's around Ajit. Let's have a look. Backhand. He comes back. This is just on the replay on the slow-mo, guys. He throws out the jab, doesn't touch Ajit. Throws out the jab again, doesn't. Ajit like taps, feints to the head, goes for the overhand. Knyba pushes him back with the backhand. There's a cut on the head as well. 1-2. That's when he starts to get a bit wobbly on his feet as he throws back the backhand. Body shots, and those body shots really work from Ajit. He's got a lovely, lovely body shot. 1-2 as he throws back. You can see he's unsteady on his feet. We said that in the comms. 1-2 holds on to him for dear life. Uppercut comes in. 1-2. You can see he's unsteady on his feet. Shots coming in. 1-2-3. That one missed. Ref's having a really good look here. Overhand, sorry, coming in from Kabayel. Knyba throws back. Uppercuts. Hook, that hook comes in, the hook once again, and the ref waves it off. Yeah, it's probably a bit prem still. Don't get me wrong, he was unsteady on his feet. He probably was going to get the stoppage anyway. But to me, that was a little bit prep. Just give him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, look, I don't want to see, anybody seriously hurt, but it has, and he protested at the end of it as well. It's got to be more convincing than that. But congratulations to Ajit because he would have won anyway. So well done to him. He's thrown up his native flag there. So congratulations to him. Well, ladies and gentlemen, 6,442 people in the chat. So we've had a successful evening. I really appreciate each and every one of you that have been here. But as per usual, I've got a shout out to those in the chat, the ones that interact in the chat. I can't do this without you. Otherwise, I'd be talking to myself and a bunch of numbers on the screen. So I appreciate every one of you that have made the effort to comment in the chat. Let's have a look, see what everyone else is saying. Oh, I can't read the different languages. We've got some boxing gloves in there. Yeah, Lloyd Barrett says that was too early. 68 DG says, typical, that ref is always doing that. You man are done for. Wow. Yeah. Django says you could have experimented on him more. Yeah, it was definitely early. Legal Eagles, another early stoppage. Should have given him a few minutes to see what happens. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Madman Boxing, great watch along October. I thought the stoppage was too premature, but I thought that Kabayel was very effective with the body shots. Yeah, absolutely, throughout the contest. And shout out to you as well, because I don't think I've seen you on here before, so welcome to you. Great watch along from Durango. Yeah, it's Mr. Sharp, isn't it, by the way? Yeah, I've got to remember that. Lloyd Barrett said he was hurt and almost gone, but he was still there. Yeah, bearing bruises, awful stoppage. Yeah, it wasn't the best, was it? It was an interim world title fight. That ref probably had a bet on the round. That's not from me, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I am reading out the chat. October Red, do you think Kabayel is a true heavyweight body snatcher? Yeah, I think he's dangerous, yeah, because his body shots work and we know what he does. He wants to get inside and he wants to break you down. And remember how he fought Zhang. Zhang's a fight that sticks out in my head. Body shot, uppercut, body shot, uppercut. And you could see that that's what he was trying to pull off here. Not necessarily with the uppercuts this time. It was literally the body shots and the overhands, going for the taller fighter. But it worked. Early stoppage, he would have, more than likely, it was going to happen anyway. It was just a bit premature. DAZN commentary was so biased for Kabayel. Was it? Okay, so what did they give him? Give him all the rounds then? That doesn't surprise me. That's just the way it goes. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say once again a massive thank you to all of you this evening. It's been great. Boxing continues tonight with the Matchroom card, also on DAZN over there in New York, for the WBC. Is it super? I think it's super lightweight, isn't it? super lightweight championship between Subaru Matthias and Dalton Smith, a match that's been surrounded by controversy. And I stand corrected. It's not on DAZN, is it? It's on another channel. So I guess I won't be watching that, and I'll be watching the highlights. But on that note, I am going to say an adios to you. Content, I'll be at the fight for Moses and Franklin next week. We'll see what this week brings. I'm supposed to be getting Frank Smith on a live, so we'll do something like this, but it'll be a live conversation with Frank Smith, just to catch up with him, basically. And yeah, I think that's it. So on that note, good night from Nairobi in Kenya. Good night. Yeah, good night to all of you. And you know what we say at October Red, don't you? Stay ready. Adios, my darlings.
People say I'm toxic, and honestly, I don't care.
October Red is sponsored by SA Security. Maximum security, minimum fuss.